thought this guy is going to kill us.
Lives changed forever by tragedy.
This was a massacre in the desert.
I thought that I was going to have to say goodbye to him and my girls.
The family and victims.
There was blood everywhere. I thought I was going to die.
Of the deadly mass shooting.
I'm so glad that we made it out alive.
Aftermath of an American tragedy. Now from Las Vegas, Nevada, here is Dr. Phil.
Just 5 days after the deadliest mass shooting in United States history, the area near the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas is now quiet and calm. But the fear, heartache, and horror of what occurred here will forever remain. As 20,000 music lovers gathered for an annual country music festival, Stephen Paddock broke 2 windows with a hammer and fired a spray of bullets down on the crowd from the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino, turning what was a joyous concert into a killing field. Dramatic police body cam footage released Tuesday showed the complete terror that occurred just moments after the gunman fired his first shots at innocent victims. Brave police frantically tried to figure out where the gunfire was coming from.
Stephen Paddock checked into the Mandalay Bay on September 28th, but it wasn't until Sunday night that he broke through the windows of his hotel room to begin his murderous rampage.
Be advised, fully automatic fire from an elevated position. Take cover.
Breaking news, an active shooter on the Las Vegas Strip.
Get out of here, there's gunshots coming from over there.
Gunmen had taken aim at the crowd.
I see the shot coming from Mandalay Bay.
Country music star Jason Aldean was performing when gunshots rang out.
The music was silenced and replaced with gunfire.
We see Jason drop his guitar and take off running to the back as the lights go out on the stage.
There's people laying everywhere. People were bleeding.
Many thought it was fireworks.
It's fireworks. It's fireworks. Stop.
Until victims started falling.
We have an active shooter. We have an active shooter inside the fairground.
The shooter, 64-year-old Stephen Paddock from Mesquite, Nevada.
Hey, they're shooting right at us, guys. Everybody stay down. Stay down. Where's it at? North of the Mandalay Bay. It's coming out of the window.
They say he opened fire from his hotel room on the 32nd floor
to shoot down into the crowd, roughly 950 feet below.
Everybody just started yelling, "Get down!
Get down! Get down!"
Everybody started running, like a stampede.
He used 2 windows in 2 different rooms, breaking the sealed windows with a hammer. SWAT teams stormed the room.
I need everybody in that hallway to be aware of it and get back.
All units move back.
Breach.
We have 1 suspect down inside the room.
1 suspect down. No firearm.
They found Paddock dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Police found evidence of premeditated mass murder, a stockpile of weapons.
We have recovered 23 firearms at Mandalay Bay.
Officials also found several pounds of ammonium nitrate in Paddock's car, a material used to make explosives.
Police describe Paddock as a lone wolf with no known motive.
His brother in Florida says he has no idea why he would do this.
No religious affiliation, no political affiliation.
And no history of mental illness.
Not a bit.
The numbers of victims simply staggering.
In what's being called the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history.
At least 59 people are now dead, and the people injured in this senseless attack are desperately trying to pick up the pieces and heal from this horrific tragedy. We are here in a special report from Las Vegas. We'll be going inside 2 hospitals that have been treating the injured and the traumatized patients around the clock. We'll be speaking to survivors about what they saw, unthinkable things that no human should have to witness. There we go. They are receiving excellent care from the most dedicated and kind-hearted professionals. And everyone from car service drivers to locals to law enforcement have come together to support these victims. But as the physical wounds heal, the emotional wounds linger. And that is why we are here, to help fill that void. Here are some of their stories of strength and survival from the Las Vegas shooting. Hi. You Chris? How you doing? Amber, Dr. Phil, how are you?
I'm okay, how are you?
So where were you in the crowd?
The stage was here. It was kind of like all the way towards the back, like right before the cement started.
When it started, did you have any idea of what was happening?
I think we all heard it, and then half the crowd started running. The other half was ducking and hiding. But yeah, I think it registered pretty quickly of what it could be.
So where were you hit?
I don't know, maybe thigh.
The thigh, right?
Mm-hmm.
And did it go all the way through?
Did not go all the way through, no.
So how long did it take you from the time this started to the time you got to care, where you got to the hospital, where somebody started helping you?
So I was with my mom, my best friend at the time, and then we kind of just all ended up going up our own separate ways. And I just got down. There was like a wooden bar, so I was trying to hide up against it with some other people, and I was literally just screaming. That's the first time I called him. They didn't know what to do. I was by myself. I had no idea. People were just screaming, he's getting closer, he's getting closer. That's when I got up and I just ran, and that's when I got shot. And then I fell to the ground, and I was on the phone with him, and my phone went flying, and I thought my life was over. I really thought it was. And so I thought that I was gonna have to say goodbye to him and my girls. And so I just tried to crawl over to get my phone so I could say bye if I had to.
How do you get a phone call from your wife that she's been shot? What goes through your head?
Everything. So many thoughts. The first was just terror that, she was saying that he was getting closer and that she was, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. And I didn't, she wasn't really responding to me. I didn't know what even to say. Do I say to run? Do I say to hide? I don't know, right? I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
And then she said she was shot in the leg and the thigh, and she FaceTimed me. I could see the blood, but it's very blurry. It wasn't a very clear picture. And I knew in the thigh, I knew she had arteries. I didn't know how high up the shot was, so I was worried about that. It was just overall just feeling helpless. I just knew I had to get here as fast as I could. It was the worst 30 minutes of my life. It was horrible.
There were some guys that were kind of running back and forth trying to help transport people into cars. And they helped a few other people first and then came back and got me. I was just laying there, just had blood all over me. They cut half my clothes off to try to wrap my shirt around my leg to keep the bleeding. A guy threw me over his shoulder and he ran with me, and he flagged down an Uber driver, and he was actually looking for his wife. And so I felt horrible getting in that car. I got in the car, and then I heard some other people screaming that they also needed a ride. And at certain points, there were just times I just didn't think I was going to make it home. My daughter was turning 1 on Monday, and all I wanted to do was get home.
We had planned, for her to come home that morning. Having to go from that to switching to maybe having to say goodbye to her for the last time, and being so helpless was like the worst. I can't even explain it. There's no words to put it in.
Yeah, that's got to be a helpless feeling. At this point, you know that you're going to recover now. That's a given, right? They told you you're going to be okay, your leg's going to be okay, and that you're going to recover.
Yeah, they say probably like 4 to 6 months for full recovery.
Do you feel bad about going to the concert?
From this happening, 100%. Yeah, I feel just why did I go, and this had to happen. I missed my daughter's birthday. I'm here all week, and I feel extremely guilty for going.
There was not one thing unhealthy or irrational about what you did, and I hope you don't feel guilty about that. He doesn't blame you for it, right?
Absolutely not. I feel guilty. I feel like if I was there, there's something I could have done to help her, but she shouldn't feel guilty. She's a great mom and a great wife, and nothing that she did that was wrong.
I hope you don't let it change you to the point that you sit on the sidelines and don't be you because of him. Because if somebody like that changes you in that way, then you let him control you even after that night. And you can't do that. You just really can't do that, because then your girls don't get 100% of mom. And that's easy to say going forward, but right now you got to focus on getting back on your feet. If you start having nightmares, you start having flashbacks, you start having big reactions to certain noises or sounds, or you start getting depressed and it just keeps spiraling down, say something. You run a flag up and I will get help to you like that, without disrupting your family, without disrupting your kids, and all that kind of stuff will get you the help to get through it. And give yourself credit for this. You made it through it.
Coming up, two friends struggle to reunite amid the chaos.
We just kept hearing gunshots and gunshots. I knew I had got shot, and I just went down.
And I kept saying, I have to get my friend. I have to get her.
I thought I was going to die.
I'm so glad that we made it out alive, because it could have been so much worse.
That's next. Monday on an all-new Dr. Phil.
My son's a moocher, and as much as I do for him, he is rotten.
You kick him out of the house and move him to the backyard. All that did is you walk further to bring him stuff. You're giving him food, money, cars. You're doing drugs, and it's her fault because she gave you the money to buy them?
Yep. When's the last time I gave you money?
Right before the show.
She bribed you to come?
Yeah, I did.
That's Monday. We now return to Aftermath of an American Tragedy.
Hi. How are you guys?
Pretty good.
Were you two together?
Yeah.
Where were you in the crowd?
We were to the far right side, somewhat close to the front, like on the Mandalay Bay side, so.
Did you know what was happening as soon as it started, or did you think something else was happening? Some people have said they thought it was firecrackers.
I just looked at her and I said, we have to go. And so then we just started running.
When you started running, did you have an idea where you were running to or from? Do you know where the shots were coming from?
I knew that they were coming from the Mandalay Bay direction, so we were just running in the opposite direction.
Literally seconds after we started running, I knew I had got shot, and I just went down.
You got shot in the leg. Where did you get hit?
In my shin.
Is the prognosis good as far as the leg's recovery?
Yeah.
Do they plan to operate on your leg?
I don't know yet. I just have bullet fragments in my leg, so.
Just?
Well.
Yeah. Bullet fragments in your leg. Once you went down, how did you get out of there?
I tried to pick her up, but I couldn't, and so she just kept telling me, you have to go, you have to go. So I took 4 or 5 steps, and I made it to where this metal trailer or something was there, and this off-duty policeman from California pulled me in, and he was just holding me there, and I kept saying, I have to get my friend, I have to get her, and he wouldn't let me go, and he helped me out of there.
So you two got separated?
Yes.
And how did you get out?
I made my way over under this table thing. It was like a bar area, and this guy ripped off my boot and wrapped my ankle up because it was just bleeding everywhere. And we just kept hearing gunshots and gunshots, and then this other guy came over, and he picked me up over his shoulder and just started running out and put me in a taxi. And that's when I got a hold of my mom, because I lost my phone, and all I wanted to do was talk to my mom, because I thought I was going to die. I thought there was no way I was going to make it out.
What did you think when you got that phone call?
It was the most dreaded phone call as a mother you ever want to get. I was, of course, grateful I was hearing her voice, hearing that she was as distraught as she was and hysterical. Of course, I'm thinking the worst. And at the same time, trying to keep my mind collected enough to just get to her.
What are y'all saying to yourself about this at this point?
At this point, I just keep telling myself that we're thankful. And I'm so glad that we made it out alive. Because it could have been so much worse.
What do you think about this after the fact?
I close my eyes to like try to sleep, and I have flashbacks. I can't listen to the news because the gunshots, I just try not to think about it.
And like she was saying, every time I close my eyes, I'm just seeing everybody running and people falling to the ground.
Are y'all angry about this, or are you scared, or are you sad?
I mean, obviously, there's a little bit of anger too, but probably just sad more than anything because he took so many people's lives that we're just trying to have a good time at a concert, and it's just so unfortunate that someone could ever do that.
Well, let me tell you, people came together because what you had, as ugly as it is you had 20,000 people jammed into a killing field, and a guy 32 floors up with a killing machine, and you got out alive. And there's a reason for that.
She was telling me when we were driving down here, she just feels so bad for a lot of other people. She doesn't understand why she's here and other people aren't.
There's no answer to that question. There really isn't. And, there's a phenomenon that I know you've heard about called survivor's guilt. You are here, and you have to maximize being here. You just have to know I am here, and so I have to do what I have to do with my life. There's not enough guilt in the world to erase what did happen. And there's not enough anxiety in the world to change what will happen. This is going to hit you in time. You are at risk for PTSD. And that's a term that gets thrown around so much it's lost its meaning. But it's a neurological thing, it's not psychological. Everybody thinks it's psychological. You'll know it if after 30, 60 days, there are triggers that take you back to the same emotion you felt that night in that field. And when you see that, you need to tell your parents, because it's very treatable. But the sooner you raise a flag about it, the easier it is to deal with.
Thank you so much for having us and being here. And it means a lot because this isn't going to be easy, and we just have to stay as positive as we can.
Well, thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Well, I'm proud of you. Okay? Hang in there. Dad, it's good to meet you.
Thank you.
Take care, okay?
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Coming up, this California nurse becomes a patient.
Someone next to you got shot in the eye?
Yeah, and I wanted to help him and bring him with me, but, I was trying to save myself. My heart's hurting for the people I couldn't help because I'm a nurse. That's just who I am.
That's next. Aftermath of an American tragedy continues.
Hi.
Natalie,
Very nice to meet you.
it's good to meet you. Well, thanks for letting us talk to you. So, you were shot twice.
Well, I thought I was shot twice. I was shot once, and what we think happened is it ricocheted and sliced my leg.
Oh, my God.
It just happened so fast. I knew I had been shot.
You knew it at the time?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the impact was horrible. And, there was gunshots. It was nonstop. It was horrendous.
You went to the concert with friends, family?
I had a lot of my friends, and Jason Aldean came on, and then all of a sudden, I knew it was gunshots. It didn't sound like fireworks at all.
You knew right away?
I knew because fireworks don't sound like that. And you can hear the screaming. It was way on the other side. And then all of a sudden we knew something was wrong as soon as Jason Aldean ran off the stage. And the shots just got louder and more and more and more. And everyone just dropped to the ground. And then you heard more screaming because people were getting hit. And within probably 10 minutes, I got hit.
So you were down when you got shot?
I was down. Someone got shot in the eye. Another person to the right was dead. It was horrible. And I just kept saying, I got shot, I need to get out of here. People were holding my hand, and I told them not to get up, don't get up. And as soon as the shooting stopped, then we would move a little more and jump over the fence. And I was like, okay, I made it over the fence, I'm safe. So I moved a little more and the shooting happened again. And you could hear the bullets ricochet off of all of the equipment and stuff. And I just prayed and I just said, I'm staying until
Swear I won't forget this, why do I regret this? In my mind reckless, thoughts are feeling endless. Sitting up I'm breathless, anxiety's infectious. I feel so defenseless, betrayed and embarrassed. I hate being open, I hate being broken. I feel like an ocean filled up with emotion. Anger ain't a potion, rub it on like lotion. I can feel it soaking, reopen, the scars have awoken. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go.
I don't hear any more gunshots.
Did you feel like they had zeroed in on your location there?
I felt that, yeah, we were being targeted because everyone was down. Everyone was injured in that area, so I knew that I had to get out of that actual particular area.
You said someone next to you got shot in the eye?
Yeah, and I wanted to help him or bring him with me, but, you know, I was trying to save myself, and I was bleeding. There was blood everywhere.
What did you say to yourself when you realized they're killing people around me here?
I just felt it was a terrorist attack.
Are you angry or are you sad? What's your emotion?
I think I'm just in shock. I'm not angry. I'm in shock. I don't want to say angry.
My heart is just hurting for all the people that didn't make it. My heart's hurting for the people I couldn't help because I'm a nurse. That's just who I am. And it's just a horrific act that, should have never happened.
How did your family find out? How did you let your family know?
So, for the goodness of this taxi cab guy saved my life. If he wouldn't have taken me to the hospital, I don't know if I'd be here right now. But when I ran out and I said, please help me, I've been shot. And he said, get inside, I'll take you to the hospital. And I don't know who this guy is. And, he saved my life.
How long will you be here?
For another 3 days.
You be nervous to walk out that door?
No, he's gone.
Okay?
He's gone.
You realize it's an isolated event?
Yeah.
Well,
it's going to take some time to heal from all this, but I still have to move forward and live my life.
I, too, am in Los Angeles, and you're going to have all of our contact information. And
thank you.
Okay, and I mean that.
Thank you.
Really sincerely. You just pick up the phone, and we'll make sure that you get what you need.
Thank you.
Okay? Well, we're going to let you get some rest. But,
thank you so much.
Kind of gives people hope that we can survive these things, because here you are, and you've come through it, and you seem to have some optimism, and you're leaning forward. People need to hear that.
Yeah.
Need to hear
very
that.
Lucky.
Right, you guys are all tough as boots, as we say in Texas. So I'm proud to meet you.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here to talk to me. Could have been a whole lot different.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, you take care of yourself.
Thank you
okay?
so much.
All right.
Thank you.
Coming up.
2 young women came up and dragged me behind the bleachers and threw a belt around my leg. They saved my life. While there's this one evil, evil man, there was 30,000 plus people that were amazing.
That's next. We now return to Aftermath of an American Tragedy.
Hey.
How's it going?
How's it going? Good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Well, thanks for talking to me. Where did you get hit?
I got shot straight through the calf here. Entered here,
Jesus.
straight out the other side.
Did you realize when you got shot that you had been shot?
I did. It was weird. It didn't exactly hurt, but I did go down immediately, and there was a pool of blood within seconds.
And what was going on around you?
I think during that time, just with so much anger and adrenaline, I didn't notice anything. I literally didn't see anything. I didn't see any bullets coming at me. I just heard them.
Did you ever figure out where he was?
Again, I didn't see bodies, so I thought it was fake. I really thought it was fake at that point. When it started happening, we all thought it was speakers. Even Jason Aldean did. He literally kept playing for about 15, 20 seconds. And
yeah,
then,
I saw that.
Then when he stopped and took off, it seemed like the screaming started, and it seems like a couple people got hit around that time. And right then I looked up towards Mandalay Bay right behind me, and I saw gunfire coming out of the window, perfectly in sync with the sound of the gun. And right then and there, it took my leg out.
That's when you got hit?
Right when I got hit. I just thought to myself, this guy is going to kill us,
And you weren't just going to stand there and let it happen?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And I think people were smart by running out. People were smart by getting onto the stage, protecting their boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it was, doing whatever they had to do. For me, I felt like, if you're going to kill me, I'm not going to get shot in the back, and I'm not going to do it on the ground. But ultimately didn't know where he was at.
Because it just kept going.
It kept going.
So you've now learned, I guess, just what's in the paper, this guy was, 64-year-old white male retired accountant?
Yeah.
That had been in a hotel since Thursday? I mean, what do you say to yourself about that?
I'm not trying to focus on that right now, but to try and find a positive message to this.
What is that?
When everybody was so terrified, it didn't matter who you were, what you looked like, anything like that. You grabbed the person next to you and you helped them, And for me, when multiple men saw me shot on the ground, stared at me and couldn't do a dang thing because they were so terrified. But 2 young women who I believe were off-duty police officers came up and dragged me behind the bleachers and threw a belt around my leg. and grabbed men and said, you will pick him up and you will carry him out of here. They saved my life, you know. I would have bled out there. There's no doubt in my mind. Nobody was helping me. You know, for me, it was getting to the hospital and sitting in the hallway for hours and having civilians and police officers coming up and holding my hand, you know, and just letting me know that they're there. And that's the message that I wanted to send out. While there's this one evil, evil man that did these things, there was 30,000 plus people between cops and nurses and people in that event that were amazing, helping each other, you know. And so if for one evil person there's thousands of good, I think that you can still take a good message out of this.
And do you know who those women were that helped you, those two cops?
I wanna find out so bad. I owe them my life. My gunshot isn't the worst thing. Obviously people had worse, but I was in pools of blood. And if they didn't do that, nobody else was doing it. And I would have stayed there and I would have died.
Well, listen, we're going to try and find out who those women were.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
See if we can get them connected to you. I love what you said. I mean, to find a silver lining in this terribly dark cloud,
yeah,
that's courageous in itself. So I'm glad for you to share that message. Thanks for talking to me.
Coming up.
As you lay here now, would you feel comfortable going to a large event again?
I'll never go to a concert. Never.
Has this changed you in a lasting way?
Very much so.
That's next. Monday on an all-new Dr. Phil.
My son's a moocher.
You kick him out of the house and move him to the backyard. You're giving him money. She bribed you to come.
Yeah, I did.
That's Monday. Aftermath of an American tragedy continues.
Diane, how are you?
Hanging in there to the canal.
Well, I'm so glad to meet you and so sorry for the circumstance.
Me too. It should never happen to anyone.
Well, no, it shouldn't.
A lot of people, they don't realize that this can happen anywhere, anytime, at any moment. And it did last night.
You were there with friends?
I was there with friends. We thought it was fireworks going off during the show. And I looked completely straight up into Mandalay Bay. And all I could see was just shoots of light coming down at everybody and just bullets everywhere.
So you could see the muzzle blast?
Yes.
So you knew soon it wasn't fireworks?
It wasn't fireworks.
How many friends were you with?
There were probably about 15 of us, I'd say. Next thing I know, I was laying down and I was turning towards my girlfriend. And then I turned towards another girlfriend, and it was just, this girl was just laying there dead next to me, and her blood was right next to me, and there was nothing I could do, and I was trying, but her boyfriend, whoever she was with, was just huddled over her so she wouldn't get shot again.
How long before you realized?
Oh, some man behind us said, "Oh, it's fireworks, look." And that's when I turned around to look and see, oh, there's fireworks while I was dancing. And those weren't fireworks.
Get down. Get down.
And tell you the truth, Dr. Phil, I've never seen a gun being shot off. So it may sound, you know, pretty naive, but I never have. But that was what that was. And that's when I thought, I knew, we better get down, everybody get down.
And you actually got trampled.
I got to the bleachers, underneath the bleachers, and everybody laid down. And once they laid down in the bleachers, they kept taking their cell phones out and causing problems with the cell phones. And I kept saying, no lights, you guys. It's a target, no lights. And all of a sudden the shots went off again. And I saw this girl go down and I ran to her to see if she was okay. And she got hit in the leg really hard. And then I got up to go over to another person I saw. And right when I did, this girl just plowed me completely backwards, and I fell back on the ground. So then I was pretty much done. And then this one guy picked me up and pulled me towards the bleachers. And so then I sat up, and then I realized that my whole left side was starting to go. So I got hit real hard.
What do you say to yourself about this now?
More, I'm in shock, and I am confused. You know, never being in a situation like this, we need to know what's going on out there, and it's not looking good. I want peace. That's all I want is peace.
As you lay here now, would you feel comfortable going to a large event again?
No, I'll never go to a large event again. I'll never go to a concert. Never.
No, you just wouldn't do it?
Never. Seeing what I saw, no, never. I won't do it again.
It's just not worth the risk.
I'm too scared.
What's happened in this country that you can't go celebrate something that you love so much?
It's love. Love's gone. Not a lot of love left.
Has this changed you in a lasting way?
Very much so. You know, I've always in my life said that that's what God wants. He wants to take you to a better place. I've always believed in that. But what I saw yesterday, it's just not fair.
You know, when people say you're in shock, that's kind of a slang term that we throw around. But what that means is that your brain is overwhelmed right now. I mean, you've got all these neurological pathways, you've got all these emotional pathways of how you accommodate to life, and it's like all of those have been blown apart. But we do have to remember that this was an isolated event. I mean, if you're 40 years old, you've lived 14,600 days, and this horrific thing happened one of those days. It's not going to be easy. You might hear a pop, pop, pop 3 months from now, and it might take you back to the moment that happened again as though it happened 30 seconds ago. But there are ways to deal with that. There are ways to treat those sort of things, and we have to really surround you with that help.
Yeah, I know.
We got to get you that kind of help. And the main thing is you got to talk about it and let people know how you're feeling and what you're thinking, and, you know, not try to be tough and hold it in.
No, Dr. Phil, I'm just thankful that you guys came in. I could tell what happened.
Well,
and like I said to all the people out there, you know, I'm just one of them. There's so many out there that are hurt or already died, and it's not what anyone wanted.
Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you for coming in and talking to me.
I really appreciate it. Take care of yourself, okay?
Thank you.
Coming up.
Lady that just got shot right next to me. There was a garbage can kind of by where I was at, so I went to get behind it and felt it hit me in the back of the leg. That was like the third go-around of shots, and they just kept coming and coming and coming and coming.
That's next. We now return to Aftermath of an American Tragedy.
How you doing? Good to see you. So what happened with you?
I was taking pictures for my music magazine. It sounded like firecrackers going off. It stopped and then started again. And the second time it started, I'm like, that's gunfire. I kind of knelt down and looked over, and a young lady was shot right next to me. So I jumped up and went probably about 50 feet and covered a couple other younger kids up. And they're like, oh, it's just fireworks. And I'm like, no, there's a lady that just got shot right next to me. And they jumped up and took off. And there was a garbage can kind of by where I was at, so I went to go to get behind it and felt it hit me in the back of the leg. That was like the third go-around of shots, and I don't know how many actually. They just kept coming and coming and coming and coming. I looked up, and there was a building, VIP building, and I seen two guys in there. So I just headed to it because I knew that was pretty decent cover. And I got up 2 stairs and fell, and they're like, are you all right? And I was like, yeah, I've been shot. The next thing I remember, they're pulling me over to the back of a pickup truck. They, thank God they put a tourniquet on me, and I mean, they basically saved my life.
What do you say to yourself about this? What?
Just goes to show you how messed up the world is right now. I don't understand how somebody could pick up guns and go out and shoot innocent people for no reason at all. It makes no sense.
Well, man, I am so glad that you're here to talk to me today.
Like I said, if it wasn't for the citizens and the concert goers that stepped up, and they saved a ton of lives that day. But, I wanted to say one thing to the guys that helped me. I may never, ever even know who they were.
Well, if they're watching this, what do you say to them?
Thank you so much. it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here.
Coming up.
I am proud to say I am sitting among lifesavers.
We were able to step up and deliver at the time, but I'm disappointed that it's a tragedy. Chaos is the norm, so you have to prepare for the worst.
That's next.
It's not just the concert goers who were affected by this tragedy. The emergency and trauma staff at all of the area hospitals were inundated with the wounded, and it was all hands on deck. I sat down with some of the staff from University Medical Center. We are on the heels of the worst mass murder in the history of the United States. This was a massacre in the desert. This hospital has been beyond phenomenal in responding to this trauma.
I am proud to say I am sitting among lifesavers who have dedicated their lives to, at a moment's notice, being able to make those life-saving, split-second decisions that for a, quote, normal person, non-medical person like myself, I would panic. And they have been taught not to panic and to focus on the person who is literally dying in front of them. And that's incredible.
How many patients were you hit with in the first 12, 24 hours?
There was over 100 patients, 100 plus patients that traveled through UMC doors. Within the first couple of hours, there were probably 59 patients plus that came into the trauma center.
When something like this happens, when you step back and look at it, what do you say to yourself about something like this?
I mean, I think it's awful. I mean, there's really no other word to describe it. I'm proud that we were able to step up and deliver at the time, but I'm disappointed that, you know, my specialty shines in times of tragedy.
And when it starts happening, you have no idea how deep the wave is, do you?
Chaos is the norm, and it's not only do we not know, I think it's impossible to know accurately, so you have to prepare for the worst.
And what these miraculous men and women call ordinary, the rest of us call extremely extraordinary.
I hope when the dust settles a little bit here, you have one of those, what I call good tireds. When you get home, you're tired, but you say, hey, we stepped up at the right time. I was hearing from people in the community, from patients, and from families here. They sure noticed it, so good job. I want to thank both University Medical Center and Sunrise Hospital, especially their trauma teams, all the nurses and doctors who work continuously through the night and into this week to help the innocent victims. Our thoughts and prayers are with Las Vegas, the victims, their families, and everyone touched by this tragedy. We have committed to provide counseling behind the scenes to the survivors we have spoken to today, and I know they'll appreciate your prayers and support from near and far. A special thanks and recognition to the Las Vegas Police Department, who were boots on the ground when this tragic event started and saw it through to the end. We leave you with the memories of the innocent victims taken way before their times.
Spend all your time waiting for that second chance, for a break that would make it okay. There's always some reason to feel not good enough, and it's hard at the end of the day. I need some distraction.